What is going on, everyone? My name is ReshiMine. Welcome back to a brand new podcast series known as Starlight Spotlight. That's a tongue twister, if I'm going to be honest, and hopefully all of you guys are having a fantastic day. If you are new to this channel, welcome. My name is ReshiMine. Well, you can probably see on screen what my name is, but that is a-okay. Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic day, like I said before, and I think what we need to do is just, start something on this channel, because I love, talking to people or something like that. So, a friend of mine from work decided to say, hey, why don't you start a podcast, because I think you would do well at it. I was like, okay, sure. So, that is why we're doing this. So if you do enjoy this podcast, please leave a like. I actually don't know what YouTube podcasts do, to be honest, so comment or whatever you can do to support this podcast. Anyhow, I was thinking the other day about what a podcast series would talk about. Like, what could I talk about on this? And it came to mind that the community post thing has just started, but you can only post so much on those community post tabs. Alright, let's be honest. You can't really go posting paragraphs because who is going to take the time to read posts? That's what I meant. And I was just like, I need to update my fellow viewers on what is going on throughout the behind the scenes, so to speak. So, yes, I still do YouTube once in a while, and I work on it here and there. But there's more than just YouTube I've been doing. Recently, I have been working on several things outside of YouTube, such as a sport known as pickleball. Now, if you guys are unaware of pickleball, I'll be honest with you, first time I heard of it, I thought it was played in a pool. Yeah, true facts. And I felt kind of like a fool when I found out that that's not the case. Be honest, right? We all make those silly errors and look like fools afterwards. But let me tell you guys, I have become the most, probably one of the most addictive players to this game. I mean, if you don't know what pickleball is, it's basically the in-between idea of ping pong and tennis. Now, if you played one of those games, this game should ring some sort of bell. And basically, it's played on a court kind of smaller than a tennis court, and it's basically played with a wiffle ball, and played with paddles that are bigger than ping pong paddles, which is really cool in my opinion. Now, you only score on your serve. So basically, how the scoring works, and I find this to be the worst thing for new players to learn, is the scoring. So basically what you would say is your score first, okay? So my score would probably be like 2. Say your opponent's score, which would probably be 2, right? Well, at the start, it'd be 0-0. But here's the catch. And some players get this mixed up, and I do too. If you are the first person serving, you always will say 0-0 start. Well, score 0. Okay? No. Score start. Thank you. Correct myself. However, if you do manage to get a point on that, you go 1-0 start still. Even though you've already scored that point. I've always done 0-0 start on the first serve, and then if we got a point, I would go right to 1. That is not how you do it. The first server after you, well, technically second, but it's all confusing in the brain. Let's be honest. Now, one of my favorite things to do in pickleball, right, is like, just practice the dinking game. And if you can just dink it correctly, now, dinking in the kitchen. What do I mean by that? So there is a certain line in pickleball called the kitchen line. Now, if you grew up in a house where you're not allowed in the kitchen that much, this might make sense to you. But your foot cannot cross the kitchen line. If you do during a mid-air hit, you do not get the point, or your opponent gets the point if they are. If it's your opponent's serve and you step over the kitchen line, you basically give your opponent a free point. That is not good. But let's be honest with each other. I mean, we really don't want to give each other free points these days. Now, if the ball bounces in the kitchen, you're allowed to go get it as long as you back out of the kitchen. That's basically the functionality. Gonna be honest with you guys. It's been a while since I've done some sort of podcast. My throat was getting dry at this point, or lips. So, anyhow, where were we? We were talking about the kitchen line. So, basically, in the air, don't step in the kitchen, you're good to go. Now, another thing that I tend to see that rookies or novice players like me have trouble with is the backhand swing. So there's the forward hand and then the backhand. And sometimes your backhand is weaker than your forward hand. Okay, that makes sense. Sometimes. But then sometimes you find your backhand better than your forward hand. It's just you need to find out how much leverage you have on the ball. Because the court's not that big, and the likelihood you slam it out of the court is very realistic, to be quite honest. And I've done that many and many times in a row. So, that's another thing. So, that's sort of what's been new with me, right? Quite frankly. And if you guys want me to do an actual episode breaking down what pickleball is and all the rules, I would be glad to do that, because this won't be the last episode. I hope it's not. What else shall I say? Oh yes, now you guys probably have noticed a lot of videos lately have been done through Clipchamp. So Clipchamp is actually the editing source I use now, and likely this video will be edited by Clipchamp itself, because I have some intro music that did not come through the speakers correctly. That is such bad luck. So what else has been new? Let's see, the studio has been getting an upgrade. I should be doing a tour video of the new studio next Tuesday. So by the way, shame on me, this podcast will have a new episode every second Thursday of the month. So I'm recording this on the 4th. The second Thursday would be the 9th. If this is not posted on the 9th, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. Let's be honest. Let's be honest with each other. So, regarding that, just thought I'd let you know ahead of time. And by the way, if you're wondering, who is that handsome fella on your left on the screen? I'm pretty sure there will be a picture on this podcast, but that is actually me with my mascot, ReshiMine. Credit to my mom. She actually took this at my grandparents' house during, I think, 2020 of some sort. And it is a gorgeous photo. I mean, you can't tell me that this is not a gorgeous photo. I mean, look at ReshiMine. He just literally has his wing hovering my head. That is epic. Pure epicness. 100%. Okay? No debates about it. It makes me smile. Now, regarding content, okay? People have told me, hey, leave your content the same. And obviously that is what I'm thinking about doing. It's just, there are some things I just want to change about the channel. Including, the channel description. Because the channel description seems like it's a mess no matter what. Let's be honest. But there's always room for improvement, because I feel like a lot of people that want to get started with YouTube, expect it to be the easiest ride. And quite frankly, from my experience of, just doing all of this crazy stuff on YouTube, it takes a while for you to produce following content, right? It's a set goal for yourself to reach a certain amount of subscribers. And my recommendation is just try to reach increments of 10, right? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. And honestly, I feel like YouTube needs to celebrate when someone reaches 100 subscribers, because that's a big goal right there. You are basically at triple digits right now. And for this channel, we are at 210 subscribers. 210! That is insane. And by the way, the big celebration for the YouTube channel is coming, I want to say, this July at the latest. Now, you guys are like, wait, hold up, what? This July? Well, if you guys do remember, I uploaded a video of this place, and sort of has to start with a C. I'll just leave it at that. But, yeah, obviously, if you can find out what that video is on this channel, it's still up here. Do not worry about that. So anyhow, that is also coming up. I did talk to my grandma, and she said that they need to work on things out there, so I'm going to probably head out in June. So I think the video should be up in July. And believe me, this is going to be a humongous video as ever before, and I feel like this is going to be the biggest video I've ever done. Quite frankly, so that's going to take a lot editing. And plus, it's going to be a one-man show, so it's not going to be done with other people, so it's going to be quite fun. So, regarding what else is new, right? Football is over, officially. Well, the games are, but it seems like the off-season just keeps on continuing. And I don't think I can really skip what's been said over the past few days. According to Cowboys coach Mike McCarthy, this is probably one of my biggest news that I can catch, is he basically wanted to fire his OC, offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore, because he wanted to light up the scoreboard. Yeah, I'm pretty sure all of us know the point of football is to light up the scoreboard, correct? Score as many points as possible. He says he wants to run the ball more to rest his defense. Are you serious? So what you're telling me is you're gonna, when you get to the playoffs and you're in this critical position, you're not gonna let Dak Prescott try to change the game and you're gonna run it? What if it's like 4th and 20. Are you really going to challenge your running backs to run that far? They can, but defense, they might stack the box against you. It's ridiculous. It's not very smart as well, and I don't know what you could do. Honestly, if I'm a coach, if I am a Eagles, Giants, or Washington football team, and I hear that statement from him, I am licking my chops right now, because I know I can stop them, because they're going to be trying to run the ball more than pass the ball. Obviously, hopefully he learns his lesson. Now, I'm going to put my prediction in, and I was going to do this with my friend Abe, but I ended up getting ill before he came over, so oof for me. I'm going to say he's going to get fired in the midst of the season, and the Cowboys will miss the playoffs this year. I'm putting my call in right now. You guys can come back to this podcast, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm right, I'm right. Let's be honest. Alright. Now, before we wrap up this podcast, I know it doesn't seem very long of a podcast, but really, this is just the beginning of it. I want to talk about something important with the content. Now, I did say that we're going to keep the content the same, right? But I feel like we need to talk and address about a certain game that we all love. which is Pokemon Go. Now, Pokemon Go, Niantic they've made another error again. They are going to be limiting remote raids to 6 per day and raise the remote passes to 150 coins instead of 100 coins. For a player like me that lives in the countryside, you guys probably have seen what my map looks like, my area looks like in-game a bunch of times. There's nothing, okay? Right? There are spawns, right? We all need spawns. But man, does that really kind of hurt to see them moving away from all this craziness. And believe it or not, it's just like, now what's the point of playing Pokemon Go? And now that it just seems like global events are floating away now, according to our one and only Pokédaxi, it's just concerning to see where Niantic is headed with this, and I feel like they are being the bad company that basically took away the full distance stop thing, Pokestop info. That is probably the most sad memory of ever before. Now, how are we going to combat this lost content? I think what we need to really do is put our heads together and realize, hey, we have something called, you ready? We have something called, wait for it, Transformers Earth Wars. Surprise! I mean, that game has always fulfilled my time, and honestly, I really like playing it, to be honest. I play a lot, and believe it or not, today's a Saturday, so after I get done recording, I should be grinding an event again. So, that's basically what I wanted to say. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the first episode of this podcast. Let me know what you are in favor of me talking about the next episode. For now, I have to get going, but I'll see you all later. Alligators, goodbye everyone.